Wildcat today. Were you guys expecting that, and why did it work so well for them?
I mean, just like going into the game plan, we saw a little bit of Wildcat, but we didn't expect it to hit that much. They did a lot of things that we haven't seen on film yet, so it seems like they game planned against us. Definitely. I mean, this game is like a game of chess. Whoever has the move ahead, is gonna get the advantage, and they're able to do that on us. And I feel like the reason it was able to hit so many times in different various gaps. We weren't sure on a couple of our run fits. Just seeing the backfield set. We have certain rules and kind of like guidelines we have to follow, and everyone says they're hitting their gap, but all it takes is one person to miss their gap, and that's ultimately what happened. We need all 11 people on the defense to kind of make sure everything just turns, and I feel like that wasn't the case. They were able to make the plays off the Wildcat, and unfortunately, we had a really tough time stopping it.
Do those rules kind of, I guess, get a little murky when Akers is at quarter, like when there's a running back at quarterback? Do the rules kind of get harder to follow to some extent because their personality?
Right. Yeah. I mean, at the defensive line, we basically stay with our same rules. I mean, we made a couple checks here and there. It's more of a linebacker thing in the secondary because they're responsible. Sometimes like they're man on man a couple times, and so when there's no quarterback in the backfield, it kind of gets really confusing on who's covering who, where's my run fit, where's my run gap, and so I felt like that was definitely a curveball they throw, and we didn't adjust well enough to it to begin.
Yeah, JP. There were a couple of personal foul penalties and sportsmanlike conduct going on in the defense. How did you guys kind of try to come together and address that going into the fourth quarter?
I mean, it's never our intention with the personal foul calls. I mean, they just kind of happen, and they kind of they bite us in the butt. Definitely, sometimes we have a good defensive drive going, and all it takes is one little bit late hit on the quarterback to kind of ruin that drive, and that kind of it kind of resets our mood. We're really high in spirits, and when we see that flag on the ground, it's like, man, I hope this isn't against us. And when it is, it's like it's a total mood killer. It's like, man, we're just almost off the field, and now we're back on the field defending. So it's definitely tough, but that's just a game of football. Personal foul calls are gonna happen. I mean, we don't do it on purpose. That's just kind of how they rolled in.
Jay.
Brandon Berry has had a great season. He's listed as a backup on the 2 deep. He's got a bunch of sacks, leads the team in sacks this season. What do you think has made him so effective in the small amount of playing time that you've been able to see from him?
He's able to learn on the fly because we moved him actually inside on the pass rushing down, so he's playing 3 technique. They also have me 3 technique also on the pass rush downs. And, he's just able to, he's a really smart football player. He's really quick to learn, and he gives tremendous effort. Maybe if he doesn't get a play call, he makes it up with his effort. That's where a lot of his sacks come from, is just running to the ball, like not giving up on plays. Sometimes he's getting double teamed, but he's able to wiggle his way through a block and make his way to his sack. So that's something it's a great upside to him, and I really hope this success continues with him.
A couple more questions for Josh.
Josh, what did you kind of see on the trick play, like triple pass, whatever you want to call it? I guess just what did you see from your perspective and how to kind of play out on the field?
I mean, from my perspective, I saw something in the backfield happening, but I have to stay in my gap, and so I just saw the play develop. It was like slow motion. I saw it go one way, and then I saw the pass go backwards, and then to be honest, I thought it was over and then I saw him chuck it downfield, and there's an open receiver, and the problem with that play was it's not the fact that our eyes weren't disciplined on the play. It was the fact that we didn't swarm to the ball on that play. We didn't cup the ball well enough, and ultimately, that led up to the big play like passing it behind the line of scrimmage. It should have never got to that state if we were all 11 swarming to the ball and having a really good cup and forcing it to our help. And so, I mean, that was the problem with a lot of our missed tackles. We were trying to make these solo tackles, but we need to remember our rules when we're making tackling. We got to send it back to our help because it's team defense, and that's where a lot of those missed tackles came from.
Kate?
Josh, Coach Baber said that he noticed that the team in his mind kind of met their boiling point, and that's what kind of got you guys going, at least in the fourth quarter. Would you agree with that, and why?
I mean, I definitely agree with that. I mean, just from the past couple weeks, it seems like, all right, we're starting off slow, and then somehow we flip that switch in the fourth quarter, end of the third quarter. It's like, man, like, we're not trying to lose, but we should have that mentality, like, for the entire game. That's why I feel like we just keep sticking. We just can't figure out how to fine-tune this to make it happen in the first half opposed to the second half.
How do you, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, how do you, kind of get that mentality? What do you guys need to do to make that happen, you know?
I mean, it all starts within the team itself. You know, you can't rely on your coaches to fire you up. It's got to start with, just with that passion, some of our players have. And it's just the fact that, we got to have that passion throughout the whole game. When things don't go our way, we can't hang our heads. It's next play on. And, we got to flip that switch earlier.
Last question, JP.
Having kept the Seminoles scoreless in the fourth quarter, defensive adjustments that you made, how are you going to carry that forward into Boston College next week?
I mean, we didn't make that many adjustments in the fourth quarter, to be honest. We're just able to finally make tackles. I mean, that's where a lot of their big plays came from, us missing tackles, broken cup, etc. I mean, we just have to go back to the basics and the fundamentals, wrap up, run your feet on contact, etc. And, when we're going to turn on the film tomorrow, we're going to look at our mistakes, we're going to correct them, and ultimately we have to move on from this loss, take the learning from it, and, we still have a whole lot of season left, so that's the plan.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, no problem.
Just watch your step.